I think the best way of describing Zed and Aniston's story has always been it's really been a beautiful love story. Because what more needs to be said about it? It was a beautiful love story that so many people couldn't help but fall head over heels in love with. I myself included. From the very first moment I saw Meg Donnelly play the character Addison Wells and bring her to life, I knew she was going to be something special. I knew she had something special to offer. So if I was going to be a part of these conversations, I was always going to say something nice. I was always going to go out of my way to give that one girl who was watching this video who may have been a fan of Meg Donnelly a chance of believing in her more than they ever did. And somewhere, somehow, I was able to create relatable content that would go on to resonate with far more hearts than I ever imagined possible. Thank you so much for having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, because you believe in a zombie apocalypse happening just as fast as you could snap your fingers as this crazy guy who's been able to put smiles on your faces for forever. And it's not just one person who's had this YouTube channel affect them emotionally. There have been thousands of people who have had this YouTube channel affect them emotionally and touch their hearts. Perhaps it's had something to do with how I can tell this story very differently from other people, and I've had the time of my life doing it. Because if I couldn't bring these videos to life, then I never wanted to be a part of these conversations. You know, years ago, I remember when Tim Burton began a relationship with Disney, a partnership, and he created The Nightmare Before Christmas. It was a very unheard of concept. We had never seen it before. It was around the same time that Toy Story and A Bug's Life were making their premiere as Disney franchises. And Tim Burton brought a character such as Jack Skellington and Sally to life, and their love story went on to become one of the most cherished and one of the most celebrated, more often than enough celebrated love stories of all time. No matter who Disney could put together in love stories, they were very effectively put together, and it drew us in. It made us feel compelled, and that's exactly what we're experiencing with the love story of Zed and Aniston, what we experienced for over 7 years. And what we're going to experience with the love story of Nova and Victor, Malachi Burton and Freya Sky, which is not only proudly put on display in front of the camera, it's also behind the camera, because of how incredibly supportive they are of each other. Their friendship is quite lovely, and I've loved talking about it. I've created hundreds of Freya Sky and Malachi Burton videos because I've saw something special and always believed in it from the very first moment I saw them. I think from the very first moment they stepped onto the set of Zombies, the writers and producers knew they were going to offer us something special. They were going to give us something to believe in than more than any Disney couple had ever given us to believe in ever before. Talking about couples like Troy Bolton and Gabriela Montez, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens, who is one of the biggest wrestling fans of all time. She's always at WWE Monday Night Raw, having the time of her life, really evolving herself into a wonderful person. And seeing her exemplify her love for passions like sports is really cool. Seeing her come such a long way in such a short amount of time. Zac Efron likewise. But, you know, as much as I heard about how the friendship and the love story of Gabriela Montez and Troy Bolton, for argument's sake, was given praise, I really do believe that Zed and Aniston were a power couple that will never ever be forgotten and will really go the distance in standing the test of time. You know, some power couples are eternal, and there are many of them, but this one definitely stands above the rest. For just how passionate they felt about each other, how much they loved each other, and now Freya Sky and Malachi Burton as the characters Victor and Nova are doing the exact same thing, even if not more powerfully than anyone else has ever done it. You could have never given these roles of Nova and Victor to anybody else that could have ever been able to do it as powerfully as what they did, because they just came together and stuck together like glue and became inseparable. They're always laughing together. They're always making jokes with each other in front of the camera for PR for Zombies. And I know it's not staged. You can really tell and you can really feel the emotion, because sometimes these couples like Emily Osmond and Miley Cyrus had to do for the characters Miley Stewart and Lily Truscott and Hannah Montana, they really had to play off a friendship that never existed to begin with, because they were always envious of each other. They always couldn't stand each other, and oftentimes the writers and producers had to tell them to put it together. But when it came to the stars of Descendants of Zombies, even Descendants, these stars had instant chemistry, and they believed in each other every step of the way, and were incredibly supportive of each other, which is to be valued. So if I was going to do anything, I always wanted to say something nice about them to make them feel stronger. So if in fact they did hear my voice, or had a chance of seeing any of my videos, they knew that when they saw Jonathan Clarke's videos, he was always going to say something nice out of love and support for all of them, because he believed in them just as much as an incredibly supportive fandom, which consists of over 10.5 million people on social media, always believed in them. Because that's why you're here. You're a fan of Descendants of Zombies. That's why you click on these videos every day when you get home from school, probably before you even go to school. You're watching these videos. Now, every morning at 7:30, I used to watch Inspector Gadget before I'd head off to school. Either Inspector Gadget or the Care Bears. Those new Care Bear stuffies look amazing at the X stores and, the stuffy stores that you guys go to all the time, Clears and stuff. Really updated the Care Bears from years ago. But that's all I ever had to watch was either the Care Bears or Inspector Gadget at 6:30, 7:30 every morning. And now you have Descendants of Zombies videos to watch. Oh, how the times have changed, but as the times have changed, we've really evolved into something so special. Oftentimes people will argue about how fans of this generation will never know what it was like to grow up and be a true Disney fan and experience eras and times like the Disney Renaissance era, or when Disney was represented by Hannah Montana and Alex Russo played by Selena Gomez, and even Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers, who are returning to reprise their roles for Camp Rock 3 this summer. I don't know how that's going to go, but it's happening. And the thing is, guys, I've often argued the point and made the point about how I would have loved the chance to experience your generation for what it was worth, to see the rise in popularity of stars like Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner for how strong they were. Because they were incredibly strong and forever fearless, which I couldn't help but take a lot of inspiration away from. And if I was going to be a part of these conversations, I was always going to say something nice because I knew that Ruby Rose Turner had a passion for a lot of things. Video games, board games, her friendships, her love stories. There's so much to appreciate about these stars, and their appreciation for life really stands out. That really blows my mind, their appreciation for life and their connection with all of you. That is one thing that I would never ever take away from any fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I would support as a writer and producer. Which is why you guys got to hit my subscribe button 50,000 and 50,000 times over so that I can get in as the writer and producer behind Descendants of Zombies. Because when Jonathan Clarke takes over, he will appreciate things like friendships and the cast that you've come to know and love and certainly appreciate over the years more than anybody else ever did. I think what you guys have always needed is a guy, more so than a girl, producing Descendants of Zombies who is emotionally connected with the stars and their stories just as much as what you've become, that truly understands you. And I think I could be the guy that will always come through. Because I've always had this profound respect for not only the stars but also the fans who have brought this franchise unspeakably to life. I will never forget any of you for how much you've meant to my heart and how you really changed my perspective on life. Because of you, I'm a stronger person, and I can share you these stories about Zed and Addison and Victor and Nova with so much heart because I believed in them so much, and I always took something special away from these stories, no matter what the stories were. Now, I know there have been a lot of rumors started because of what happened last summer at the Worlds Collide Tour, and people have often speculated on why people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker have chosen to opt out of the Worlds Collide Tour, but it's simply because they have more than they've ever been given credit for happening for them at such a critical point and time in their lives. And they don't deserve criticism during this critical time in their lives. What they need more than ever is our love and support to help them get through the difficult times in their life and the judgment they're faced with and the criticism they always have to endure. Oftentimes they don't even watch social media posts anymore because of how they've been made to feel because of what people are saying. And I know there are people out there that don't necessarily like Kylie Cantrell, that will never, like Kylie Cantrell, give her much of a chance. But when you actually do, trust me guys, you will fall in love with people such as Kylie Cantrell and Brass Guy, because there are millions of people who feel very differently about them, who have been made to feel very differently about them for how they saw something special in their music, their roles in Descendants and High School Musical, and what they have coming up in the future, which is going to be a beautiful one at that. Because somewhere out there in that constellation, their star is about to shine brighter than anybody else's star ever has, past or present. And I felt just as honored as all of you to be a part of this, because you guys allowed me the opportunity to become a part of something so special that I will never forget any of you for. Because no matter who we are, we all have a story, and we just want to leave behind a legacy. God knows that I've always wanted to leave behind a legacy. I may have never known how I was ever going to leave behind that legacy or ever have a chance of leaving behind a legacy that will go on to become so profound, but I know I will because I have the love and support of Descendants and Zombies fans. And once you have the love and support of that fandom, there is nothing else in the world that could ever come as close to touching your heart as what Descendants and Zombies will do for you. It will change your life. People will show so much love. They will forever heart your videos. They will forever comment. They will forever hit your like button 1,000,000 times over and subscribe to you again and again because they just want to keep you alive. And they want to keep the hope of Descendants and Zombies always radiant, always so radiant, always so powerful, because there's just something special about these franchises that make you feel connected to something special, that make you feel a part of something special. But again, what it comes down to is how the person creating the content that's so relatable can make you feel a part of these franchises and how much they want to be a part of it themselves. I have both wanted to be a part of it myself and wanted you to come along on this incredible journey through Oradon Academy and Oradon Prep. I've loved this so much, and I've really enjoyed just bringing these franchises to life for so many wonderful people. No matter if you attended Merlin Academy or Oradon Prep for most of your life and been a fan of Descendants of Zombies from its very beginning, its ground roots from the ground up, I've just appreciated this so much because I feel like I've been walking the path of Oradon for forever, been a citizen of Seabrook, and I've met so many wonderful characters and been able to review them in such powerful ways because they are forever strong, and even though they endure their fair share of criticism, I really do believe that we can take this away and we can give something special back to so many wonderful people who have believed in it so much. Over 6.7 million people watched Descendants: The Rise of Red within the first 3 days, and Zombies went to become the most popular franchise in the history of Disney Plus and Disney Channel because of how it resonated with so many wonderful people. If you haven't watched Descendants: The Rise of Red or Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires 1,000 times, well then, you got me. You probably watched it 1,000,000 times like I have. And coming up in a couple of days, I'm going to rewatch the entire Descendants of Zombies series just to give you an even better perspective and go even more in depth, go deeper than ever before, because I'm sure there are some things that I've missed that you guys are probably wondering how I did miss it. Because you are die-hard fans, and that's one thing that Descendants of Zombies creators have got to realize, is that you guys know everything there is to know about Descendants of Zombies. You guys are obviously die-hard, and because you're die-hard, you deserve to be appreciated. And that's what's really allowed me to bring these videos to life, is this unprofound appreciation that I've seemed to have for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, which truly means the world to me. You know, I could never imagine going on to become everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies content creator, but I did, because these videos will go on to resonate with far more people than I ever imagined possible. If you are somebody who has never subscribed here before, may have never watched a Jonathan Clarke video, with me what you see is what you get, and I am very dedicated to Descendants of Zombies content. I have always held a very special place in my heart for your favorite stars, and I've loved being a part of and sharing in their stories, as I have many Disney Channel stars of the past, especially the girls, because I was very fond of how strong they were and everything they had to endure. And I always remember being incredibly supportive of every Disney girl who represented Disney Channel, which eventually became Disney Plus, and we saw so many crossover opportunities between franchises like Descendants of Zombies that blew up. And they blew up because of you, and how you always were passionate about the Descendants of Zombies dolls and every bit of merch, like the posters, which are really cool, which are so cool, which are so fun to collect, and I've just wanted to support that, and I've always seen something special in it. No matter who you are, I would just like to say thank you so much for having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. Seeing something that's forever been relatable in every video that I've ever had the chance to create. Having said that, guys, I will return just after sunset tonight, which is a conversation that I hope you will join me for, because I've got a lot to say and a lot to get into and further to go with these franchises than perhaps anybody ever has. Because if you notice anything about these videos that are uploaded about Descendants of Zombies, many of them are very ridiculous, and they don't really offer you the insights, predictions, or breakdowns that you guys want, the reviews that you guys have always demanded, because you guys are forever supportive of your favorite stars. You've always wanted to be a part of their lives and proudly represent them as you've seen heroes in their stories and legacies that will undoubtedly be left behind, because I've always wanted to be a part of those legacies and really carve my own, which you guys have helped me create and leave behind. Again, thank you so much from wherever you're watching this video or from wherever you hear my voice today, because your support, your love and support is something that I can never seem to put in words of just how appreciative I am of, because without you guys, this YouTube channel would have never happened, and this YouTube channel would have never became as special as it did to so many wonderful people. And I've really had the time of my life bringing these videos to life. So we will pick up this conversation sometime between now and just after sunset this evening, which again is a conversation that I hope you can join me for, because we're all special in our own way. We all have a story, and we want more than anything for our story to be seen and heard by more people than ever before, which my story had a chance of doing because of you, because it was stay calm and zombie on and believing in everybody's future more than anything else in this lifetime, because the friendships that we have and the moments that we create together are what means everything in the end. Thank you so much for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies as much as you've been with all of your heart. And as always, thank you so much from my heart to yours for always having chosen this YouTube channel and having made it your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke. Thank you so much for having watched these videos.